Hey, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tiny Boat Nation Northeast, aka Bass Brothers Fishing. In this video, it's been a while, so definitely wanted to get you guys caught up on where we are, showing the build out of this fisher boat. Very unique and one of our more complicated builds. That's why it was really important to show it on the channel. So this is an update video which will get you right up to the point of it being completely done. That way we can go ahead and just reveal and show everything that we did on this boat. So if you're new to this build out, there are some other videos on the channel. Check them out leading up to this one. Very unique build again for us, so we're happy to bring it to you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get right into it. So when we started this build and demoed the existing front deck, we knew we needed to replace it with something even stronger that would not degrade over time. The owner of the boat wanted to maintain the exact configuration, so we decided the best way to do this was to replicate the original deck using aluminum tube welded together. This was definitely different from what we typically do, but at the same time created a level of excitement, can't lie, just to be able to do something different and be challenged. But I must say, this piece took way longer than I anticipated because the decking was so uneven. To get it done, we used 1x2 and 2x2 aluminum tube to create the new front deck. The old deck was 4 inches tall, so stacking a couple pieces of 2x2 seemed like the best way and easiest way to start. A little trick here we did was to notch out a groove using a Dremel bit to create a small channel to focus the weld into. Once we had the 2x2s welded together, we added the 1x2s to frame out the deck. Whoops! Yeah, as you can see, just started a fire in my garage. Apparently I had a cloth on the floor that I used to clean the aluminum off, had acetone on it, and a spark must have hit it. And that cloth put up a fight, man. It would not go out. Anyway, back to the build. In the end, we created a solid foundation up front, which met the specs of the original deck, and most of all, is rock solid and will not corrode over time. As a final step to complete the front deck, we need to install the trolling motor mount, which you probably saw we left a spot on the right side of the framing to get that done. We measured everything out so that the trolling motor and deck would butt up together nicely for a seamless look. And as always, we always try to make sure that the trolling motor does not extend past the sidewall of the boat. This is really done just to protect the motor most of all, especially at the dock. Hitting it, breaking it off, anything dramatic like that can happen. Now, before we get into any electrical work or turfing, we had to finish up a couple things first. In the previous video, we framed up a standalone middle hatch along the right side of the boat. To finish up that hatch, we needed to create these sidewalls. We wanted to create something that was continuous and just very sleek. So we went with creating a 3-sided wall by bending 063 sheet. After the walls were in, we added edge trim, which is a great way to protect the edges of your framing, as well as the turf if that's the route you're taking. And because this is a standalone hatch, we needed to join up the ends to create one continuous border around the hatch. To bring it all together and make it rock solid, we carefully welded the edging on both corners. Then we sanded it down smooth to give it that sleek, professional finish. Once the welds were all sanded and looking good, this was a great time to just test fit, especially after welding it. And this is because the heat from the weld can sometimes warp the aluminum. Now with everything fitting up snug and looking good, we can do the final install with 3/16 rivets. Primary job for the rivets is to, of course, hold the edge trim in place, but it also serves as extra support for the welds that we just did. For the interior painting, we did a two-step process. First spraying a coat of Rust-Oleum white aluminum primer, then finishing it up with a black gloss, or in this case, an aluminum color coat. So one of the more notable things we had to do on this build was to refurbish the existing seat bases. In the previous video, we did seal up all the cracks in the seat mounts. Now we needed to fabricate new brackets that would anchor the seats for good. So I headed over to Jeff's shop, a good buddy of mine, to put his plasma table to work. Once we figured out the design we wanted, we plugged the measurements in and let the cutter do the rest. This was a great way to go because we're able to make custom pieces that fit based on the natural contour of each seat mount. After a quick bend to match the sides of the seat mounts, we TIG welded the brackets to the floor of the boat. In addition, we dropped in some rivets in there for extra support and strength. One of the final steps before installing the mounts into the boat was to secure the top of the seat mounts. Originally, this was done with wood. As the replacement / upgrade, we went with 2 1/4-inch plates for each mount bolted together through the top of the seat mount, 1 piece under and 1 piece above. In the end, this provided 1/2-inch thick material to hold the actual seat in place. All right, time to turf the floor of the boat, and took some time to look at it, try to figure out the best approach to getting it done. This is probably going to be the most complicated piece of turf I've ever installed because of the layout of the boat. I could dumb it down and cut into 2 pieces and make life a little bit easier for myself, but I want to make it 1 piece because the floor of the boat is actually narrower than the full sheet, so I can utilize a full sheet end to end from left to right and cover the floor without having to break it into pieces. And that's the ideal situation, to not have any joints in the turf. So I put my head to it. Let me show you what I came up with. On the floor of the boat, I've got 2 seat mounts here, and I've got 1, 2, 3 ribs, side ribs right there. We've got a middle hatch and another rib there. I mentioned to you I could just break it into 2 pieces and just join them up in the middle. Nothing's wrong with that. You can definitely do that. Definitely have to pay attention to where the lines are. This isn't camo turf where you can pretty much have a whole lot of options on where to slice it in the groove. But with the teak turf, your choices are a lot more limited because you've got 2 inches between each groove. I've got a little row back there as well to turf. So a lot of intricacies to get it done. And I figure the best thing for me is going to be to create a template. And I'm going to create one huge template that's going to account for every single thing. 1, 2, 3, the back gap there, 4, 5, 6 ribs, middle hatch, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be very important for me to just take my time and template this out, because if I have to shift the turf too much to, let's say, turf around this really tight, it could throw that off. It could throw that off. It could throw the rest of everything else that's part of this template. So what I'll probably do is be conservative on the cut close in case I do need to make some kind of shifts. With HydroTurf, you can stretch a little bit, but not too much to where your lines are now crooked. So be careful doing that. And lastly, I need to have turf inside the seat mounts. I have this seat mount in place, and that's what that looks like, right? It's open in the front. I could just cut it right here, install a separate piece in there, but I'll have a line at the entrance. And ideally, I just don't want that. I could do that, but we're gonna go for gusto here and make it so that it's just one piece. Turf comes around and goes down inside the seat mount. So pretty excited. I can't even sound nervous, but pretty excited and maybe a little bit of anxiety just to make sure I get this right, because this will use up one entire sheet of foam. And luckily for me, from the rear deck to that seat mount, which is a great breaking point, that's pretty much the entire length of one sheet. So with that being said, I am not trying to screw up an entire sheet of foam. I don't even think I have another sheet to compensate for that. So that's it. It's fourth quarter. We got 3 seconds on the clock with a timeout. We got to shoot a 3 to win. Let's go for it. All right, what you guys just saw is about an hour's worth of work, and probably saw it in like 10-15 seconds. Let me show you what I got. So after just making sure to take my time, I've got everything cut out. I used box tape to connect the 2 pieces of paper together wherever I needed to join it. And I used painter's tape wherever I needed to just hold the paper in place up against the sidewalls. I did template out around the wells right here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick to that or if I'm just gonna go on this side with the paper, straight cut it, and then cut it out, cut the wells out in the boat. I'll figure that out. I'm kind of leaning towards just cutting it straight, and that will leave me some fudge room to make sure that everything butts up against these mounting points pretty good. All right, so got that done and follow that all the way through. Everything's pretty tight up against every wall. I am installing strips along these ends right here. I'll actually show you one. I've got it all the way over here. These right here, originally on the boat, just sanded and repainted them so they look brand new. These are, I just grabbed one. I don't know if this one fits right here, but ultimately these will be installed in these corners, which does afford me fudge room here because we've got literally, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches of strip right there that will cover the edges. When you're just dealing with one solid piece of turf, going down with none of this stuff to deal with, the turf always shrinks a little bit when you cut it. So I'm gonna try to account for that as well with every single cut I make on the turf for this stuff you see right in front of you. Looking good, guys, looking good. I have no complaints on how this turned out. Very, very satisfied with it. Yeah, first piece was a monster piece. Multiple things going on. See in here, everything's butted up nicely. I'm still gonna secure down the seat mounts to the anchors we have down there. I'll do that tomorrow, but just wanna at least show you this part. That's done. The gray is a really good look. The seats actually just pop with the whole thing. It's just a completely good fit. And I didn't even have anything to do with the purchase of these seats. Doing the template definitely helped out a lot. I did have to do some minor trimming here or there, which was good. It's better to do that work up front on the template side to limit how much trimming you need to do. Trimming the turf in tight places and just abstractly, it can be a real pain in the you-know-what to do. So the better your template is, if you go that route, kind of eliminates some of the extra work you do on the back end. So looking good. We'll get the trim that I showed you earlier. We'll get that in tomorrow as well. And we're almost done this boat. Got a little bit of electrical wiring to do to finish it up. And that's about it. Of course, get that piece in. Lastly, for the turf, we carefully measured and cut accent pieces for the throttle control, the base of the steering pole, and the transom caps. Now, as far as electrical, we kept it very simple based on the needs of the owner. We installed 2 batteries in the rear left hatch, gas tank was in the other. We wired up new nav light mounts on the transom caps. In that standalone hatch, we added another battery for the fish finders.
At this stage of the build out, we feel pretty good because we can pretty much see the finish line as we reinstall the throttle straight into the sidewall using stainless steel screws. And we also got the steering pole installed back in. I must say this build was a very unique one that we're very proud of. Can't wait to show you the finished product, which we will do in the next video.
All right, so that's where we are with the build out. Next video will be the reveal. We'll show exactly what we did, the completed project. So stick around, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. That way you do not miss a beat. We got plenty of content coming your way. I mean, more than I have time to edit, but we're gonna get it on the channel and get into a rhythm again and post a lot more regularly. So stick around to the channel, guys. Also, Tiny Boat Nation Northeast, we're full-fledged boat shop in the Beltsville area. We're in Maryland, we're in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So if you're around here or even not, people are traveling to get to our shop here on the East Coast. So hit us up, don't hesitate, reach out to us, 202-556-4433. That is the business number. And you can also reach out to get a quote on bashbrothersfishing.com, guys. We'll see you on the next one.